It is that time of year again when we switch gears. We've been doing BOA stuff for the entire season, but we switch gears now because the songbirds of UIL have risen. They're stretching their wings. They're looking up at the bright blue sky and they're ready to sing. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's do this. We've got UIL stuff to talk about because it's coming up on us already. So let's get after it. UIL region stuff. I'm going to explain everything in just a second. But first of all, good morning again, Daniel Valdez. Again, it's a pleasure and honor to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Y'all doing okay? Awesome. Too much coffee. UIL stuff. So I'll go over very, very basic stuff with like how the UIL process works. And I'm going to take it one episode at a time just to avoid confusion. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a region UIL region thing this week. Next week we'll do an area Nerd-In for the 5A area contests that are happening next weekend. Yes, it's that close. UIL season really crept up on us, but we don't mind. So I'll do an area. I'll go area by area, go over everything, go over judging systems and what to look for and all that fun stuff. Week after, we'll do 6A area. We'll do a 5A cherry on. We'll congratulate all the programs that participated as well as the state qualifiers there. We'll go switch over to 6A, and it's just going to be a very busy 2 weeks. I'm going to do my best, and I hope you'll stick with me the entire time. Great. Okay. UIL Region Nerd-In. Thank you all so much for joining me. What is UIL? We'll start out, like I said, very basic. So UIL stands for University Interscholastic League. It is the overarching governing body that runs basically all the electric, all the extracurricular activities in the state of Texas for high school and middle school stuff. UIL runs how it pertains to this activity. UIL runs the region contests, they run the area contests, and they run the state marching band championships, which will go down at the beginning of November, just a couple of short weeks away. So that's the basic over UIL and what they're involved with. Here's the state process. Here's how you get to state from UIL. By the way, this has nothing to do with BOA. These are completely different contests. You don't, it doesn't matter what you did, or Bands of America or US Bands or whatever set of contests you went to. UIL is its own thing. It doesn't take into account any other results that you got from the rest of the season. So take your results, celebrate them, do whatever you want, but we're playing a different game now, a little bit. And I'm going to explain that in just a second. Here's how you get to state. Basically, you have regions. You have region contests. And I shouldn't even call them region contests. I should really just call them region evaluations. And that's probably what, for parents that are listening, that's probably what your kid was doing on like this past Tuesday night. Because some of the region contests have already happened. A lot of them happen on this particular weekend that's coming up, usually the 16th. What's today? Today's the 15th? Yeah, today's the 15th. So Saturday, the 16th, that's usually when a lot of them go down. But each region determines when they have their contests. The only guideline is that they have to be done by a certain point because we got to put area schedules together and then we do the whole area contest next week. So region contests, region evaluations. The reason we call them region evaluations is because you're not competing against anybody else. You're simply competing against the judge's sheet. There are no scores per se. There's no best music and best visual. There's none of that at the region level. All we're doing is we're looking at these sheets and we're giving you a rating between 1 and 5. 1 is the highest, that stands for superior, and then it goes 2, 3, 4, 5. In order to qualify for the area contest for UIL, you have to get an overall 1 superior rating. You get that, you get to advance to the area contest. It's as simple as that. Region evaluations, that's exactly what we got going on this weekend. Like I said, they can happen at any time. 33 regions in the state of Texas, and they vary. Some of these regions have very few 5A or 6A programs. Some of them have a ton of 5A, 6A programs. 33 overall, but not all of them have, like I said, 5A or 6A programs. It just kind of depends on how it's all drawn up, and I don't know anything about that. It's all just kind of as geographically intelligent as it possibly can be. So that's what we're looking at for region contests, region evaluations. I'm so used to calling them region contests, but I really want to put an emphasis that you're not competing against anybody else. This is not like a regular competition where you're sitting there and you're like, I wonder if that program did better than that other program. Well, they actually did really well, but this other part they did. Throw all that out the window for right now. The important thing I want people to realize for this region contest stuff is that you better be cheering on every single program that's out there. And this is why. The amount of programs that make a Division I rating at region determines how many state qualifiers advance from the next round. So I'll make that make sense. Region contest, you get a Division I rating, great, you move on to the area contest. The amount of participants or the amount of qualifiers for area contest determines how many state qualifiers that particular area is allowed to take. You catch my drift? So logically, the more programs that score a Division I rating, the more programs the area can take to state, that they're allowed to take for state. That's basically what we call a 1 to 5 rule. So at area contest, you are allowed to certify one band to state marching contest for every 5 bands that competes at the state contest, or that competes at the area contest. Not necessarily competes, but qualifies for the area contest. Qualification is a very big word here because there are a couple of programs that, and this has happened in the past before, and I think it's going to happen this year as well, where a program will go to a region contest, get a Division I, but they decide for one reason or another that they're not going to advance on to the area contest, which is entirely up to them. That's a program discretion. Their qualification still counts towards how many programs you take from area to state. So if I'm running a marching band, heaven forbid, and we get a Division I, but I'm like, we're not gonna go to area. We're gonna go to, like, I don't know, we're gonna go like to the Canada regional or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna go see some moose, yaks, or something. Uh, and I decided not to move forward in the area contest. My Division I rating still counts. So it's very important to realize that it's qualification from region to area. Those programs that qualify, that determines how many programs that area can move on to the state marching contest. So you need as many programs to get Division I as possible. You need to be cheering everybody on in your conference. And as a golden rule, you should probably be doing it anyway instead of sitting on your hands and hoping that somebody falls or does something stupid on the field. Let's not play. We don't play that game here. Sorry. We don't do that here. We got to cheer for everybody. We gotta lift people up. So that is what's going on with region contest. It's pretty straightforward. Now, as far as the judging system goes, let's go over that real quick. Region contest, you have 3 judges. All 3 judges have the exact same judges sheet. It's called the Region Marching Band Contest Adjudication Sheet. Each judge is responsible for evaluating music, visual, and movement. That is a very, very big change. And then there's a very small category called content. Music, everybody kind of understands that. You're looking at intonation and blended balance and timing and style and articulation. Visual and movement is a very big change because it used to be called like marching. It used to be called marching, like straight up marching. This is a change. This was a change that was voted on and approved, I believe, in 2019 or 2020. But because the pandemic happened, they didn't get to implement it last year. Last year, UIL sheets were the exact same as they were the previous year. This is the very first year where we're using what they call the new sheets, and I put that in quotes because most of it is very much the same. It's just a lot of the wording has some of the wording has changed. Visual and movement was once marching. Now, there's a little bit of controversy over that because there's some folks that say that doesn't even say marching on any of the sheets. It doesn't even say marching. So who's to say you don't have to march around there? Which is it's completely extreme situation. The reason I like these new sheets is because it felt like, and you definitely saw it in the show design, when it was your turn to do state, because when it was your turn to go through the state marching contest process, you did it every 2 years. UIL does it every 2 years, and I believe they're keeping that pattern from now until the next pandemic. I don't know. Uh, you do it every 2 years. So, for instance, for the 6A schools, they do it on the even numbered years. So you did in 2018, you do in 2020. The reason we're doing it in 2021 is because the superintendents voted on it. They said, "Hey, let's get everybody into the state marching contest. Let's do all the conferences. Let's get everybody their chance to go through the state process." So the reason I like it is because it felt like they were only evaluating. It says marching on the sheet back in the day. It said marching on the sheet, so it felt like you couldn't do any other visuals because you didn't feel like you were getting rewarded for it. You have all these complicated, you got complicated choreography, and you've got uh, you know uh, dance breaks or whatever. You got all this complicated visual stuff, and it didn't feel like you didn't feel like you were getting the points for it. You didn't feel like you were getting evaluated on that. You were just getting evaluated on, hey, is that an 8-to-5 step size? Is that 6-to-5? Is that 16-to-5? And there's much more to marching band than just that. It's a different thing now. So the time to change everything was nigh upon us. I mean, it was going to happen one way or another. So, you know, don't freak out. Marching's still going to be evaluated, but now we're looking at control of equipment, control of body, control and achievement of form and interval, which was on the sheets already in the past. But it really feels like now your choreography and everything that a lot of the programs are doing visually, all the complicated stuff they're doing visually, it feels like you're being not only evaluated on it, but you're being accounted for it as well. I've heard some of these tapes in the past where I know the show and I know that choreography is going on, and then the marching judge doesn't say anything unless it's not in time. Then it's, oh, hey, it's what that didn't look right or whatever. We're looking at visual and movement now. It's not just marching. You're going to be held accountable for, and you're going to be rewarded for, visual movements. So it's a little bit more broad. It's not just marching. It's not just 8-to-5 step size. Yes, your horn carriage, the way you hold your horn is still going to count. Yes, proper posture is still going to count. There's more to marching band than just that. Okay. So that's a little bit of a change. When the sheets were announced, there was not just these sheets, but wait until we get to the state sheets. People were that meeting at TMEA where they announced the sheets, that turned into a Texas version of British Parliament. It got a little contentious there. It wasn't like Geraldo or Geraldo where people were throwing chairs and stuff like that. The older folks will know what I mean. Was it Geraldo or was it Donahue? I can't remember my old 90s talk show hosts. So I can't tell. I can't remember if it's Donahue or if it was Geraldo where they were throwing chairs around. There's a video on YouTube and it's hilarious. So there's music, there's visual movement, and then there's content, which you would kind of consider that like the effect category. And of course, people freaked out about that. Hey, that means that's gonna bankrupt our program because we have to buy a bunch of props. And no, sorry, sorry that you don't get to use that as a cop out. Content, is what I see on the field matching with what I hear in my ears? Is that matching up? That sort of thing. That's kind of the broad spectrum there. But anyways, 3 judges at region. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at music, they're looking at your visual program, and they're looking at how the music and visual fit together. Um, and there's 3 judges, like I said, they have the exact same sheet. They have to take your 8-minute show and evaluate all that stuff. It's a tough thing to do. Uh, it's almost impossible to do, but it gets done one way or another. Where you get your Division 1 rating, hopefully, and then you move on to the area contest. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much it. This is such an intense process. It's probably the most I would argue it's probably the most intense state qualification marching band process anywhere in the United States. It's uh, it's challenging. There's a lot of room for healthy competition. There's and anything can happen. It's one of those things where it's like I've said before, and it's like anything else. We're looking at performance. Everybody's good now. Everybody in your region, everybody in your area is good, so nothing's guaranteed. So the important thing is to perform. Is that the performers perform their show and perform it to the best of their abilities. All the stuff about advancing and winning and all that stuff, that's out of your hands. That's in the judge's hands. All you can do is state your best case with your music and your movement. That's all you can do. So it gets very intense. It's people are passionate about it. I'm one of them. Not to the point where we're throwing chairs and bricks through a Macy's window, but this is something that is. I mean, we're dealing with state. We're dealing with making it to state finals. We're dealing with the road to state. We're dealing with medals. We're dealing with championships. I know that's on people's minds. All I ask is that the performers perform and that the parents support them. And whatever results happen, that's what happens. So we're looking at region contests or region evaluations. Some of the regions have had their evaluations already. A lot of them are happening either today. I'm recording this on Friday, or they're happening on Saturday or Sunday, or even into next week. So good luck to everybody that's competing. Good luck to everybody that's working these events, and all the parents that are making sure that their kids are safe and taken care of while they're at these evaluations. This is such a fun process, but the road has to start somewhere, and for some programs it's already started. For others, it's going to be starting very, very soon, within the next day or two. So good luck to everybody involved. That's the Region Nerd-In. I hope you all had fun. That's just kind of a basic, rudimentary sort of explanation of everything that's going on. Next week, we'll go over, once the area schedules come out, we'll do an area Nerd-In for 5A, and we'll go area by area. I'll tell you what to look for. I'll explain the judging system then, because there's basically there's one system for region, there's one system for area, and there's one system for state. Slightly different things we're looking at, but the name of the game is performance. Perform, you advance. If you don't, we might have some issues. So let's keep going. Let's go after it. Congratulations to everybody competed so far. Good luck to everybody that will compete in the near future. I am done here. I will talk to you all very, very soon. We'll talk next week. And I'm done here. Good night, everybody. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.